Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you can't hear the drilling next door. My neighbour's having some work done. Fingers crossed this mic's doing what it's supposed to do, because that is bloody annoying, really annoying. But this mic thus far hasn't let me down. I've told everyone that would listen, if you're gonna start a YouTube channel and you wanna start it on the cheap, don't go crazy, get one of these, a Boya M1, that's what it's called. A lot of people ask me, Boya M1. I got it off Amazon a couple of years ago. I've had it that long now for about 15 quid. 15 quid. I've actually got two and they are reliable as fuck, he says, fingers crossed. All right, we're a couple of days away, people, from the big one, from the undisputed super middleweight title fight between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. Let's get a final thought and prediction video done. Look, I don't think you're going to be Einstein if you predict that Canelo will win. I guess it's more a case of how he wins. But let's kind of reverse it a little bit, because for me, I just pray to God. As much as I appreciate a Canelo fight, as much as I, as a fighter, love what Canelo does in the ring, I just want to see someone dent him. Like, I am desperate to see someone dent him. Like, I don't want this to be a procession. This is an undisputed title fight. It shouldn't be, as good as Canelo is, and look, he is a phenomenal fighter, right? He's an all-time great for me. He's gonna, when it's all said and done, Canelo will be an all-time great. But as good as he is, you shouldn't be able to win and become undisputed this easy. Like, it shouldn't be this easy. Like Callum Smith, and look, I like Callum Smith, but that was a 12-round beatdown, really, wasn't it? I mean, I think I gave Callum a round. Billy Joe Saunders was doing okay for a couple of rounds, and then eventually we all saw what happened. Caleb Plant should be tough. It should be a tough fight. You can't go through the 168 division like this. You really can't. There has to be someone that causes him some problem, surely. No? Surely. So, as much as I think Canelo will win, I think everyone thinks he'll win. I want Caleb to cause him some problems. It will be so nice to see Canelo stumble, even if it's for a brief second. Remember when Sugar Shane Mosley rocked Floyd? Don't get me wrong, Floyd went back, and after that round, I think it was round 2, Floyd literally won every single round. It was easy work. But for about 20 seconds, because remember, it wasn't just that one right hand, it was two. It's the second one that wobbled Floyd's legs. And I remember Oscar ringside almost celebrating. For 20 seconds, you thought, whoa, 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 whoa. I just want that. That's what I want in the early hours of Sunday morning. That's why I'm doing the live watch along, just because I want to see him come through some adversity. Now, the thing about Sugar Shane back then is we knew, although Sugar had lost a bit of his speed, the punch power still was there. You guys probably remember the Margarito beatdown. Caleb doesn't have that. Caleb doesn't have that punch power. He doesn't. And even if he did have the punch power, I think we've seen Canelo's chin is pretty damn stable. We all remember the Golovkin fight. Golovkin, in the first fight, hit him with a right hand, which has put everyone pretty much to sleep. Like, Golovkin hits you with that right hand, there's a problem, whether it be to the body or to the top of the temple or wherever, right? I mean, it's either putting you down or it's breaking you down. It barely hurt Canelo. And Golovkin is one of the hardest punchers, pound for pound, that we probably have seen in this generation. Probably is the hardest puncher, pound for pound, in this generation, alongside Deontay Wilder. So if Golovkin can't dent him, I don't think Caleb can. I don't think Caleb Plant can. Although Caleb is probably bigger than Golovkin, he certainly isn't stronger. So then it comes to boxing ability. Can he out-hustle him? He's got good movement, Caleb. Caleb has got good movement. What I have seen, though, with Caleb Plant is that he does slow down. He starts the rounds very, very well. He does, he's quite flashy, hands down. Then he starts to slow down. And not only that, but once you put pressure on him, like we saw Uzcategui done in that title fight, he doesn't like it. He sits on the ropes. That's the worst place to be with Canelo, is on the ropes. And Canelo won't slow down. I think we've seen this now. The Canelo from Angulo days, and maybe even Amir Khan, which wasn't that long ago, that Canelo kind of slows down a little bit, right? You can befuddle him a little bit. This Canelo now, unfortunately, you can't. I mean, I've said this numerous times and people laugh at me. He's almost like that fucking 80s movie, The Highlander, where he beats you and he seems to take your power. He seems to take your abilities. That's what it seems like with Canelo. I think the only hope that Caleb has, and it's very, very slim for me, is that Canelo is overlooking him. Like, I don't think I've seen a Canelo this relaxed and confident during a fight week. I mean, I think we all saw the image of his daughter, or the video of him kissing his daughter as he came into the MGM Grand, I think it was. I mean, I could be wrong because I've not watched every arrival, but I don't think I've ever seen Canelo be that comfortable. Again, could be wrong. He probably has been. He's smiling. He looks a bit more relaxed. I think we are seeing a different Canelo here. We're seeing a Canelo that's a lot more comfortable around cameras, obviously speaking English a lot better now. It seems a lot relaxed to me. It seems very, very relaxed. Let's not forget that Canelo, in the lead up to the Golovkin fights, maybe because of the accusations that Golovkin was throwing around as well, but he seemed a bit more amped up. Now that he's landed the two-piece on Caleb Plant, he just seems so relaxed. So that could be the only undoing here. But for me, Canelo's going to run through Caleb Plant like a hot knife through butter. I don't know if he'll get the stoppage, but I think he'll show him that there are levels to this game. No disrespect. And again, I look at the recent names on Caleb Plant's resume, and you think of Caleb Truax last time out. Yes, got the job done, but Caleb Truax, Mike Lee, again, Uskatagui, who I thought was at the time a very good fighter. In fact, I remember thinking he would have beaten James DeGale because they were very close to fighting for the IBF when James had it. But levels, honestly, levels. Again, you look at what Canelo's recently fought: unbeaten Billy Joe Saunders, unbeaten Callum Smith. Go back again, Sergei Kovalev. Go back again, Danny Jacobs, Golovkin. It's going to be very, very difficult for Caleb Plant to put a dent in this man. It really is. I mean, we are seeing, it's almost got to the stage now where when Floyd was at his peak, even towards the end of Floyd, where you knew Floyd was going to win, it was just a case of, okay, who's going to cause him some problems? Can anyone cause him some problems? That's what it's now like with Canelo, where you're actually turning up to watch him win rather than watch someone kind of put it on him, if that makes any sense. Like, you know he's going to win. Like, the odds are stacked in his favor. You ask 100 people, 99 would say Canelo are going to win this fight. And that's kind of what it was like with Floyd back in the day when Floyd was picking his opponents. That's what it's like. I guess the only difference here is that Canelo isn't picking his opponents like Floyd. Canelo is on a mission, and that mission is to become undisputed, and he will become undisputed in the early hours of Sunday morning. It's a given. It really is. So then you ask the question of what next? Because he has spoken. If this fight was in September, Canelo would have had a fight in December. There's a very good chance he still has a fight in December. I'll be shocked, but there's a very good chance because you look at what he does, and he does normally take a bit of a tune-up-ish fight, almost like a warm-down. We saw it with Rocky Fielding, and we saw it with, at the time, his WBC mandatory, Anthony Yildirim. So there is a good chance he fights someone like that kind of level in December as he waits, I think, for Golovkin to look impressive against Murata. Remember, Golovkin's fighting Murata December 28th. If Golovkin looks impressive, there is a good chance Golovkin will go up, and it's a trilogy fight. It's a trilogy fight, and it's an easy fight to sell. I know people will say, oh, but Golovkin's done, he's washed. It's an easy fight to sell because you'll sell it on the fact that Golovkin won the first fight, Canelo won the second fight. Although the record books will say a draw and a loss, you sell it on the one. Almost a bit like the Wilder situation, where Wilder clearly lost the first fight, but it was classed as a draw, and then Tyson Fury. So it almost felt like it was one apiece going into a third. This will be it with Canelo. It will be like that. Golovkin, for me, 100% won the one fight, and you can give the second fight to Canelo. And then if Golovkin looks good against Murata, and everyone's like, okay, he's kind of got one more left, then that's the fight to make at 168 pounds. Because for Golovkin, he's got a chance to go out as a two-weight world champion, having beaten Canelo. So for Golovkin, it's all there. For Canelo, you can almost silence the doubters a bit, because there is still people that are like, you didn't beat Golovkin. You didn't beat Golovkin. And now it's a case of he can really beat Golovkin. Like, I would favour Canelo to beat Golovkin in that fight 9 times out of 10, depending upon, obviously, how Golovkin looks against Murata. And I actually think a 168 jump will be good for Golovkin. But that's what I think will be next. I can't think of anything else. I mean, people have spoken about the fact that, and I've heard it, maybe it's, I don't know why this is, but in America there is this thing about, oh, Canelo doesn't fight slick black boxers. Some people have actually said Caleb Plant's black, which is a whole other story. I understand what they're saying, but yeah. Now you look at the two slick black boxers he could fight, and it's Charlo and it's Andrade. I'm sorry to kind of dent you here, but they would get destroyed by Canelo. Andrade would get, I was watching Andrade closely against Liam Williams. Andrade looked good for a couple of, no, more than a couple of rounds, but Andrade looked good for the majority of the fight. But there was times where he looked very, very just all over the place. And Charlo, unfortunately, isn't as good as we maybe think he is, or maybe thought he was a couple of years ago. There was a time when both Charlos, and I still think Jamel Charlo's got a lot to offer, but I don't think Jamal Charlo, if I'm getting that right, can do anything to Canelo. Can't do anything. So, yes, we all want him to fight a slick black boxer, but let's find a slick black boxer first before we put the ones in front of him that ain't gonna do shit. Because we are looking at a very, very, very special fighter. All right, don't forget again, guys, early hours of Sunday morning, we'll start the stream, I think around 2:33. Again, I want to try and find out what times the ring walks are, but maybe 2:33 we'll start it. And yeah, we'll have fun. It's going to be a couple of hours of chit chat. I'm actually doing, for Talk Sport that night, I'm actually doing the boxer card. I think that's in Liverpool, right? I'm doing that, not in Liverpool, I'm doing it in studio with Gareth A. Davis. That finishes at 12. Chill out for a little bit, then get right here and do some work. All right, have we got anything to talk about? Oh, interesting here from Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo is not invincible. Plant has all the tools to cause him problems. Maybe. This, I think the problem with that statement is, I don't know how Caleb Plant looks against A-level fighters. Again, not disrespecting what he's fought, but he's fought C and B levels. This is the A level. And it's not like he's blown away C or B. Like, there was that talk about Golovkin, he's not an all-time great because Golovkin hasn't fought many A-level fighters. But you know what? When Golovkin fought the C's and B's, he destroyed them. Like, he almost broke them in half. Caleb isn't doing that. Caleb's a different kind of fighter, right? He's not the kind of guy to go in and knock you out, but he's not even making them look silly. So I don't know about that, but we'll see. He's clearly got some tools, right? I mean, they don't give out world championships for nothing, or do they? But I'm not quite sure. Let's have a look here. Jesus Christ, look at this. Floyd Mayweather Jr., number 6 on all-time athlete earning list with 1.2 billion. Fuck, number 6, who? I'm shocked that he's not in the top 3. Let me quickly see who's number 1. Number 1, without even looking, has to be Michael Jordan has to be number 1. Yeah, okay, so Michael Jordan number 1 with 2.62 billion. Tiger Woods, 2.1 billion. Arnold Palmer, 1.5 billion. Jack Nicklaus, 1.38 billion. And Cristiano Ronaldo, 1.24. And you know what's crazy about Floyd's money, which is, it's even more crazy, is that Floyd didn't have a sponsor. So Floyd wasn't, this is just earnings with Floyd. Like, Floyd didn't have sponsors like the rest of them. Like the rest of them, career earnings, Floyd destroys all of them. Easily destroys all of them. I'll tell you who's going to be in the top 20 as well, without even looking. Oh, it's not got it here. Manny Pacquiao is there as well. Top 30, 550 million. Tyson, 445. Oscar De La Hoya, 405. Who was I saying? Roger Federer. Roger Federer will be in there because these earnings from sponsorships, ridiculous. I wonder who the top female is. Who's going to be the top female? Serena Williams? Must be, right? Serena Williams of all time. All right, anything else we've got, peeps? I thought, by the way, that announcement of Eddie Hearn, obviously Matchroom and DAZN got a little stick for the recent card at the O2 Arena, but I think they've bounced back well with this Chisora Parker card. I think it's really, really good. Really good. I think Vlasov versus Boatsi, let's quickly bring it up again, the card. I think it's a fantastic fight. Fantastic. Like, a lot of people think Vlasov is the world champion anyway, because a lot of people haven't beaten Joe Smith. So you're looking at, this is a tough fight. And I like this trajectory. It's a step up, a big step up from Bolotnik's. Although Vlasov's, 35, 36, he's still very, very serviceable. Obviously, main event, Joseph Parker versus Derek Chisora, Boatsi versus Vlasov is the co-main event. Carlos Gongora versus Lerone Richards. I mean, talk about throwing Lerone Richards in the deep end there. I mean, this is for the IBO super middleweight strap. Gongora is very, very good. Very, very good. Good amateur, unbeaten, 20-0. I think limit 14 knockouts, 15 knockouts. Go and watch his fight against Akhmedov and go and watch his fight against Pearson. Go and watch them. you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know the name, don't think, yeah, just go and watch him, please. Zelfa Barrett versus Torimo is not going to be easy. Jack Cullen against Emery Kuka. Good. This is a good card. Then we got the likes of Sandy Ryan, Jordan Thompson, the cruiserweight recently. Good card. Come on, be honest. That's a good card. If that's not a good card, like, even if you don't like Chisora Parker, which I'm not the biggest fan of, by the way, 'cause I didn't like the first fight. I'm telling you now, Buatsi Vlasov and Gongora, fuck me, I just forgot his name for a second there. And Gongora, Lerone Richards, fantastic fights. Sorry, Lerone. All right, okay, let's have a look at this before we bounce. Crawford Porter pay-per-view undercard is announced. Let's see if it's anything decent. What we got here? Esquiva Pantera. I remember Esquiva Pantera. Olympian, 2012. Silver medalist or something like that, I think. Maybe gold medalist. No. He's going to fight Patrice Volny and Janibek, Kazakh style. Alim Kanuli will fight former world champion Hassan Ndam in an 8-round lightweight and an 8-round lightweight duel between Raymond Muratala and Stephen the Hitman Ortiz. Yeah, I just want to see Terence Crawford versus Sean Porter. Like when it's that, like, just give me what I want, which is Crawford Porter. Will I watch a bit of the undercard? Yes. Do I necessarily care about it too much? Not really. I see Natasha Jonas has signed a deal with Boxer and Sky. She's no longer fighting on DAZN, which is a bit of a disappointment. Jamal Charlo here saying he seeks a mega fight with Canelo Plant winner Golovkin, Benavidez and Andrade. When you say seek it, I mean you're with sort of a high-profile man in Al Heyman. Get it, go and get it. Not even like you should be able to get it. I don't know, man. We'll see. I know he's calling that GGG now. I don't know. Let's see. It's a unification fight. If GGG comes through Murata, they both got belts, so I don't know why. Andrade's got a belt as well, or Andrade. Come on, man. Let's do this. Let's do it. When are we gonna not do, like, let's fucking make these fights? I saw this, and we'll end on this one because, what's the time? Because I gotta go work. Canelo talking about Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman said he would like to fight Canelo. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, Kamaru, I like you, but you don't have the best hands in the world at all. I mean, and Canelo rightly has come out and said he only wants a payday. And I get that. Like, I mean, this is prize fighting. You know, the prize is, it's not the belts. The prize is the money that comes with the belts. But I have no interest, and the public has no interest in that either. Like, zero. There was a time when Masvidal, like, sort of 12 to 18 months ago, when he was coming on those good wins, so when he beat Ben Askren, and you kind of thought, and then he beat Nate Diaz, and you're like, oh, maybe there might be something in a Masvidal one. Like, Masvidal was starting to really grow his popularity, but that's now died as well. So, yeah, look, I think the only crossover fight I'd be interested in, that the only person coming from MMA to boxing that I would like to see, just to see what she's got a bit, is Amanda Nunes. That's it, because she just starches people. Like, when she puts hands on you, it's lights out. And she's in and around that weight class where there's potential for a McCaskill fight, Katie Taylor fight, the winners of this 140-pound tournament that Eddie Hearn's putting on, because she has fought at 135 and 145 pounds. But that's it. Anyone else? No interest. Guys, peace and love.